There's a lot of fake news in childcare. So many safeguarding practices are just nursery legends, habits passed down from old managers that are actually against the law. But mixed in with those myths are some hardcore legal realities that you must know. So today we're playing fact or fiction. I have 20 statements. Some are absolute statutory requirements, some are dangerous myths. You have 5 seconds to decide if it's true or false. If you find yourself just guessing your way through this, it's a massive sign that you're risking a poor Ofsted or worse, a child's safety. So grab a pen. If this quiz exposes some gaps, don't ignore them. My Ofsted approved level 2 safeguarding course clears out the myths and gives you the exact legal facts you need. And you can use discount code SAFEYouTube for 20% off. But I'll talk about that more later. Let's see if you know the law. Let's start with round 1, legal and procedure. So question 1. True or false? You must always obtain parental consent before sharing a safeguarding concern with children's social care. It's false. While you should usually inform parents, you do not need consent if doing so would put the child at further risk of harm. Safeguarding always overrides data protection. Question 2. True or false? To comply with data protection, you should never use a child's full name in an internal safeguarding report. You should use child A instead. It's false again. Internal records must be highly specific and accurate. Using child A in your own settings file creates dangerous confusion. Names are essential. Question 3. True or false? If your designated safeguarding lead or DSL is unavailable or refuses to act on a concern, anyone in a setting can legally contact the LADO or social care directly. Yes, this one's true. The DSL coordinates the response, but safeguarding is everyone's responsibility. If management fails or is unavailable, your statutory duty is to escalate it yourself. Question 4. True or false? Whistleblowing to Ofsted about dangerous practices in your nursery is legally protected, meaning your employer cannot fire you for it. It's true. You are protected under the Public Interest Disclosure Act. Never let the fear of losing your job stop you from protecting a child. Question 5. True or false? Safeguarding records must be destroyed 3 years after a child leaves a setting to comply with general GDPR rules. It's false. General GDPR rules do not apply to child protection files. Most local authorities require these files to be kept securely until the child reaches 25 years of age. Question 6. True or false? When a child leaves your nursery to go to a new setting or primary school, you have a statutory duty to securely transfer the safeguarding file to the new DSL. It's true. This is critical for safe transition. The receiving setting must have a full picture to keep the child safe. And the final one for this section, question 7. True or false? You are not allowed to record your gut feeling or professional opinion on a safeguarding form. You can only record physical evidence. This is false. While you must clearly separate facts from opinions, recording a professional observation like the child seemed unusually fearful of the mother can be vital context for building a timeline. So let's move to round 2, signs and symptoms. Let's see if you can separate the genuine red flags from the nursery myths. Question 8. True or false? If a family is living in poverty and a child frequently wears clothes that are too small, this is an automatic indicator of neglect. False. Poverty is not a crime, and it is not the same as neglect. Neglect is the persistent failure to meet the child's needs. If the child is loved, clean and fed, a lack of money is not a safeguarding issue. Question 9. True or false? Physical abuse can only be confirmed if there are visible marks such as bruises, burns or cuts. False, because many forms of physical abuse like shaking, suffocating or pulling hair leave no external marks but can cause permanent internal damage. Question 10. True or false? Children who hear domestic abuse from another room but do not physically see it are legally recognized as victims of domestic abuse. This is true. Under 2021 Domestic Act, children who see, hear or experience the effects of domestic abuse are victims in their own right because of the severe emotional trauma that it causes. Question 11. True or false? A sudden unexplained regression in a child's development, like wetting themselves after being toilet trained for a year, can be a major behavioural indicator of abuse. It's true. Children often regress when experiencing extreme stress or trauma. It must always be investigated sensitively. Number 12. True or false? Severe emotional abuse can actually stunt a child's physical growth and brain development. It's true. High levels of chronic stress, cortisol, from emotional abuse literally change the architecture of a developing brain and can cause failure to thrive physically. Number 13. True or false? Bruises on the shins and knees of a mobile toddler are major red flags for non-accidental injury. This one's false. Shins and knees are bony prominences where children naturally bump themselves while playing. Bruises on soft tissues like the stomach, cheeks or thighs are the real red flags. And the final one for this section, number 14. True or false? Young children frequently invent stories about being sexually abused to get adult attention. This one's false. This is a dangerous myth. Young children rarely have the vocabulary or conceptual knowledge to invent these scenarios. Disclosures of this nature must always be taken seriously. So how are your scores looking so far? Did the true facts catch you off guard or did the myths trick you? If you fell into any of those traps, don't beat yourself up, but do take action. Following habit-led practice instead of the law is exactly how settings fail their inspections and how children slip through the net. You need to lead your practice with absolute certainty. My level 2 early safeguarding course strips away the myths and teaches you exactly what the current legal frameworks require. It's fully certified, OSCE approved, and you can get 20% off today using the code SAFEYouTube at checkout. The link is in the description. But alright, let's finish with the newest, strictest rules in the sector. Round 3, the 2026 Safer Sleep Framework. The rules around sleep changed drastically in 2026. Let's see if you're up to date. Question 15, true or false? Is it acceptable to use breathable mesh bumpers in a cot to stop a baby bumping their head? It's false. Under the new EYFS rules, all cot bumpers are banned due to the risk of suffocation and entanglement. The cot must be completely clear. Question 16. True or false? The statutory required room temperature for a nursery sleep room is between 16 and 20 degrees. It's true. Overheating is the primary risk factor for sudden infant death syndrome or SIDS. Number 17. True or false? If you have a high quality video baby monitor, it is legally acceptable to step out of the room while babies under 6 months are sleeping. Is false. The 2026 framework explicitly states that an adult must be physically present in the room at all times when a child under 6 months is sleeping. Monitors do not replace people. Question 18. True or false? All infants under the age of 1 must be placed in a cot to sleep. Floor mats or sleep coracles are no longer permitted for this age group. True. This is a strict new requirement to ensure babies are on a firm, flat and appropriately enclosed surfaces. Number 19. True or false? If a baby falls asleep in their car seat on the way to nursery, it is safer to let them finish their nap in the seat rather than waking them up to move them. This is false. Sleeping in a car seat can cause a baby's head to flop forward, restricting their airway. They must be moved to a firm, flat cot immediately, even if it wakes them. And the final question, number 20. True or false? When placing a baby in a cot, you must use the feet to foot position. This is true. Placing the baby's feet at the very bottom of the cot prevents them from wriggling down under the blankets, which is a major suffocation risk. But pens down, let's tally up. If you scored 18 to 20, You're a fact finder. You know your legislation. You ignore the nursery gossip, and your practice is incredibly safe. 12 to 17, you're habit led. You've got good instincts, but you're still following some of the old rules that have been updated. You need a refresher before your next inspection. If you scored under 12, then you're currently operating on myths rather than law, and that leaves your setting incredibly vulnerable. So stop guessing and start knowing. Click the link in the description or the one that's on the screen and use the code SAFEYouTube and get your level 2 certification sorted today. If you want to test your real world reflexes next, click the video on the screen right now to take my 20 question scenario quiz. Let me know your scores in the comments and I'll see you on the next video. God bless.